There's a moment when someone attacks you, an insult, a public jab, a sudden accusation, and your body wants to react before your mind can think. Most people defend themselves instantly. They explain, argue, raise their voice, or try to win the moment. But that reaction is exactly what the attacker is fishing for. Because the goal is rarely truth. The goal is to pull you off center and make you emotional, so they control the frame. Stoicism teaches a different kind of power, not the power to strike back, but the power to stay untouched. In this video, you'll learn one Stoic move that shuts down attacks without drama. So you keep your dignity, your clarity, and your control, even under pressure. Here's the turning point. The attack isn't the problem, your urgency is. When you rush to defend yourself, well, you step into their frame. And now they decide the tone, the pace, and the outcome. A Stoic does the opposite. He slows the moment down. He watches the emotion rise, but he doesn't obey it. He remembers, if I can be provoked, I can be controlled. So he creates one small gap, just a breath. And in that gap, he chooses dignity over impulse. That's the psychological trick. Not to win the argument, but to become the kind of person arguments can't touch. 1. Control what's yours. The first Stoic rule is brutal but freeing. You don't control what people say. You control what you do next. Their insults, accusations, and tone are outside your jurisdiction. The moment you try to manage their mouth, you lose your mind. So a Stoic draws a hard line. My attention, my posture, my words, my decisions, these are mine. Everything else is noise. That's why attacks feel powerful to most people. They confuse reputation with identity. But your identity is your character, not their opinion. When you stop chasing approval, the attacker loses leverage. You don't need to win their respect. You only need to keep yours. 2. The Stoic move. The pause. Now we get to the move that changes everything. Before you answer, pause. Not a long, dramatic silence, just 2 or 3 seconds. One breath, one reset. Because most attacks are powered by speed. They hit you fast, so you respond fast. And the faster you respond, the more emotional you become. So when you slow down, you break the spell. Keep your face neutral. Lower your voice. Let your body say, I'm not rushed. That small gap is where control lives. In that gap, you decide, do I speak, do I redirect, or do I leave? And the moment they can't force a reaction out of you, you become harder to touch. 3. Name it, don't become it. During the pause, don't fight the emotion. Identify it. Say it inside your head, clearly. This is anger. This is shame. This is the urge to prove myself. That sounds simple, but it's powerful. Because once you name a feeling, you stop being swallowed by it. You become the observer, not the victim. And then you remind yourself of one Stoic truth. A feeling is not an order. Just because your body wants to lash out doesn't mean you have to. You can let the heat rise and still choose a cold response. This is how you stay untouchable. Not by having no emotions, but by refusing to let emotions drive the wheel. 4. Hold the frame. Most people lose because they accept the attacker's frame. They argue on the attacker's terms. They match the tone. They explain too much. They try to clear their name. A Stoic refuses that game. He sets the conditions of the conversation. If the tone is disrespectful, he doesn't negotiate with disrespect. He redirects it. Short sentences, slow pace, no emotional fuel. You can say, if you want a response, speak with respect. And if they keep pushing, you don't keep talking. You repeat the frame, or you end it. Because the person who controls the frame controls the outcome. When you don't let them define the moment, their attack collapses under its own noise. 5. The response kit. When you're attacked, you don't need a perfect speech. You need a few clean lines you can deliver calmly. First, a boundary line. Keep it respectful. Second, a neutral line that refuses drama. Noted. Third, an exit line that ends the exchange without weakness. We'll continue later. Use them like tools. If the attack is small, noted is enough. If it crosses a line, set the boundary. If they keep escalating, you leave. Because the goal is not to win the argument. The goal is to protect your mind. And the calmer you stay, the more powerless their attack becomes. When they attack you, remember this. You don't become untouchable by overpowering them. You become untouchable by refusing to be controlled. The Stoic move is simple, but rare. Pause. Name what you feel. Hold the frame. And if respect disappears, must exit without explaining yourself. That's how you keep your dignity intact. Because every time you react on impulse, you teach people they can press a button and move you. But every time you stay calm, you teach a different lesson. You can shout, you can accuse, you can provoke, but you don't get access to my mind. This is Stoic power. Quiet, disciplined, unshakable. Practice it in small moments, traffic, comments, criticism, and when a real attack comes, you won't need courage. You'll have control.